I'm pumped. I'm kind of nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit afraid for this, but when we were doing our patch notes, unfortunately, and this is my own fault. This is my own fault, but for some reason, well, I just forgot to check after a month hiatus. I forgot to check to make sure that all of my settings were right, and I did my entire patch notes, an hour and a half breakdown with no microphone. So, anyways, one of the big things to look at in patch 14.9 was that a lot of fighters are being targeted with changes, so much so that they made a list of important changes for big gameplay, and they put in the fighter itemization here, as well as some of the champions that were using them, but also just, you know, what might classify as a big change versus a little change. But the big thing being the items, right? And specifically Mauve Malmortius, Death Dance, Sterix Gauge. This was the Trinity. You basically couldn't go wrong. If you bought these three items, you were going to be a great impact into the game. Now they're making it much more where you can actually pick these two and specialize and go in, and it might mean that fighters are going to go into the best meta that they've had in a while. They've been complaining about it a little bit over on forums. There's been some discussion about having fighters have their time to shine. It's certainly exciting for environments like Pro Play, where you'd like to see Aatrox, Riven. You'd like to see these champions go into games. You'd like to see Darius, right? You want to see Adam popping off on the Gods champions, Garen, Olaf, Darius, and Set. Like, you want those champions to exist. And as long as they have strong itemization champions that can't just be ubiquitously blanked by anyone going with these items, you're going to see more fighter variety, and it looks like they're trying to make fighters better. They're also apparently aiming changes at Bork coming in 14.10, which leads us to a certain narrative. Which champions will be best in an environment where there's a lot of fighters? Control mages will get a lot better, and some carries, immobile carries, will get worse, but mobile carries, and specifically champions like Vayne, will be probably as best suited as they've ever been. Now, talking about Vayne, I'm going to come here to Lolalytics, and we're looking at the past 30 days. Ever since this item has been changed, because it has always been part of Vayne vernacular that you don't buy Runon's Hurricane, because when you split your attacks, the silver bolts would just cancel, right? It would count as 1-1-1, and it would basically just always cancel out each other. You could never proc your silver bolts. Well, they made a change to this. I bet I can probably find it here if we look up Vayne patch history, or might be, you know what? It's going to be on Runon's Hurricane patch history. So I'm going to go on Runon Hurricane. Let's see if we can go to patch notes. Patch, old icons, trivia, patch notes. Okay. On hit. Let's see if we can go hit. No. Oh, there's going to be a lot of on hit. 26 versions of on hit. Let's see if we can do better than that. This means they apply lifesteal trigger effects, excluding silver bolts. So this was a change, and I guess, you know what? If Vayne is showing up here, then I bet we can look at Vayne again and see if it shows up in the patch notes. No, it's just here. Okay. I can't find it quite. This means that they apply everything except Vayne's silver bolts. So ever since this change, Runon's Hurricane has been an item that solves a Vayne's wave clear problem, and that is her problem, right? Make no mistake about it. That is the one thing that keeps her from being viable, is that she's a short range with no wave clear. She can't clear waves. That means she can't safely exist in any sort of meta lane, because she will get punished. She will get outpushed always. Runon's Hurricane solves that. And right about the time that they introduced this was when I really want to find this patch note. Let me see. New passive, new effect, bug fix, Ezreal's Mystic Shot, Titanic Hydra. This feels like it's too far back. It can now trigger Titanic Hydra. That's always an element. I want to go back and I want to see this. But the idea is that now that it doesn't blank silver bolts, it gives Vayne that option. Now, this happened when Static Shiv came back and Vayne started coming back into the meta a little bit. It was because Static Shiv plus Trinity Force was an incredibly strong pairing back in the days where Static Shiv was good on everybody. And it's going to be most good on the champions that where it solves the wave clear problem. So I think I'm going to surmise that that's why people didn't go in and start picking Vayne with Runon's Hurricane. But ever since this change, there's really no reason why you wouldn't want to pick Vayne with this item. And if that's the case, now I'm gonna slog through some games and it's gonna be tough probably, because not a champion that I'm super comfortable with, but I need to just like start putting this into practice. This might just be the very best environment that Vayne has ever had, because Runon's Hurricane is insane on her. The meta might start favoring fighters, which will favor her. And we're also moving into an area where they're getting rid of engaged supports and they're putting on enchanters, which is also good for her. And so if I go and I look at Vayne's win rates, right? Probably just sitting at a too high amount. It was up at 54% at that peak Trinity Force and Static Shiv environment, but it's been sitting at a pretty high level, and that's because she's kind of niche and not many people play her. The players who play her have to be pretty good at her, which means that it's mostly like one trick skewed, and that means it's fine for her to sit at a higher level. But look, I mean, this is a tiny sample size, so I even feel bad looking at it because it's just tiny, but this right here, 62% win rate, is significantly higher. Now it's only 176 games, and 35 here, only 62. But you look, even at third item, 60%. This is when most of her items are 60%, because 3 items Vayne is when she tends to like truly come online. But it really feels like this champion might just be in the position where Runon's first into many different build options to go into the game depending on what's coming out. Probably Blade of the Rune King for the synergy, maybe Ginsu's Rageblade to get all that damage, but definitely you're gonna have some situations where you want Wit's End, where you want Terminus. I think I'm gonna hedge away from Kraken Slayer unless there is a single target that I really need to be able to burst down in the fights. Someone that is gated by auto attacks and invisibility. So maybe against like a Master Yi, where I really need this like upfront damage to stick. But then we have all sorts of options. Infinity Edge is the strongest it's ever been. Ever since they reduced the crit chance to 20 from 25, it's in the strongest moment it's been. PD, Phantom Dancer, has 10% move speed with another bonus to the attack's speed every time you hit. Makes it excellent for kiting, makes it excellent for fighting against, again, those juggernauts. It seems like all the stars are aligning for Vayne, and I'm gonna play it not to try to prove anything. I mean, I want to do well on this champion as much as anyone would. I'm gonna have a tough time, but if I do well on Vayne, one of my worst champions, in a skill set that is unique to her, then people who play Vayne will have an absolute field day. And I'm very confident that this is the case anyways. But I'm going to kind of put it to this test where if I even have a modicum of success here, then I'm going to feel really confident that anyone watching the stream will do the same thing, especially if you're armed with the tools that you have on this channel. As always, we're doing a lot of giveaways here, and we're doing a sweepstakes during MSI. At the MSI finals is when we'll be giving away a free academy tour, not just the tour, but the full academy experience to one winner. All you need to do, go to gigagamingacademy.com, and you can follow the links to the Discord channel and post a picture of your honor there. Your honor level will be your entries, your chances to win. Anyways, I'm kind of anxious right now. I'm kind of bubbling in my stomach, which is good. It means I care. It means that I really want this to work and I want to perform well. Hopefully I don't get over to that threshold of too nervous, but yeah, I'm kind of pumped. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very pumped about this. Ghost for the end game healing makes a ton of sense. Flash for repositioning. I don't see a world where you go anything but the two of these. I can't really think of any situation where I'd want to do anything else. As far as rune pages, classically, I mean, there's Hail of Blades for upfront trades into really hard lanes where you just want to get like that little quick tick. Most of the time we're going to go Fleet Footwork to make sure that we're getting enough sustain through the lane phase. but lethal tempo. If there's any amount of engaged supports and it's going to force a fight, then we want to be able to deal with it. It doesn't look like that's going to be this game. It looks like it's Jhin and Xerath. So 100% of the time in Jhin Xerath games, you're going to be going with fleet footwork. And we could go for the scaling runes here just to make sure that we have the most pop-off potential. But we see that this sudden impact right here and even eyeball is a way to get some amount of early spikes. Her damage is actually kind of sneaky good for different stages. You could also go with the boots lineups. We're going to go with flat health here. And let's do like this. We'll go with the one that's doing the absolute best. We're maybe in a position where we could have gone tenacity, although most of the times you're just going to want attack speed for the extra damage anyways. And largely you're going to want cut down because of the games where you're picking Vayne tends to want to be into the juggernaut environments where cut down is going to be very, very good. But last stand, coup de grace, last stand, they're all going to be fine. Last stand best for your all-ins in lane phase. And cut down going to be best in your late game team fights against a front to back comp, and your generic, 4 carry versus 4 carry team fight, you might have coup de grace if there's no notable tank to get through. So I'm kind of pumped. I'm super pumped actually. I want this to be good. I like that the flat health is showing up. A lot of people go scaling health, but you just get too punished, in my opinion. There's also windows where we might be able to actually take it to these guys, especially once they put a spell on cooldown. The last thing to look at is whether or not to start with Doran's shield or Doran's blade. I think you give up too much by going Doran's blade. It feels good when you're saying, hey, I'm always kind of topped off. But if you're topped off and you're never threatening, then that means that they can just continue to poke you and there's never any chance of retaliation. So we want to try to do the best that we can with that. Now, live Vayne play. I have to let Stanny know that that we're picking some Vayne. All right, so a couple mechanics to talk about on this. For one, the Q is an auto attack reset, so I can attack and Q, and it will always go the length of the tumble before I attack again. But there's actually a little trick where you can go against a wall and you can just go hit Q, and then boom, it hits immediately again. Very important that you don't click again, because if you click again, the game will prioritize your new click. If you don't, it will attack the person you just attacked. So the fastest possible attack, I'll do it right now against this blue buff. Normally we don't like to leash, but we are going to leash right now. I'll just show you exactly what it does in this spot. We're going to go right up against the wall. And we're just going to tumble into the wall as we make this hit. And we're going to get right here so you can see it. And we're going to do a click as well, so we can try to go a click dash boom. And you see that? I didn't click again. It was just a double hit. Boom. Super, super fast. That is the first mechanic. Next one is condemn. Condemn will always push them away from your position as the condemn lands. So if you are into it, if you find the right spot, you might be able to flash in response to your own condemn and reposition yourself. Actually could have hit there. And reposition yourself in order to get that stun against a wall. Ooh. Woo! You deal a lot of damage. Stanny, you're gonna love this champion. What's up, Angelina? How you doing? I'm doing great. I'm on an adventure now to play this champion that is way above my pay grade. Or we can have a little bit of a blast with it. What happened to Graves? Graves is on their second jungle camp. I didn't watch it. I was too preoccupied with what's going on. We're going to keep on tumbling back to lane. Renata picking up the XP. She's level 3, so we can actually go for another all-in here. One too many. That's okay. So now we use fleet footwork to keep on healing up. Let's go contest for this. I don't really want to be under their turret. I just want to go and take the free shots here. I just made the mistake of attacking an extra time right there. Now, one of the things that we have going for us with the Renata lane, it does mean that we get to punch a little bit harder with both of us going together. Get a little bit of experience at the cost of what's coming here, but this wave was already going to be coming out. Didn't want to be in this position where Cho'Gath could show up and where we're going to be under a turret anyways. I'm trying. Yeah, I'm really excited about the opportunity to try to do well on a champion that I historically have not done well on. I'm going to ping back because I want this guy to know that we want to go back in this lane. Can they get this for me? Now, Silver Bolts is something that we tend to want to max, depending on which champions we're playing against. And in this case, there might be a Cho'Gath and a Nasus in our lane, but I'm not in a huge rush. Damn, that hit us. So I think we're going to go a second point into Q before we do anything else. I really don't like that we're pushing this in right now because I want to get this lane to come back to us. Maybe there's a window where we could just all in. Missed it. I got myself rooted. That's on me. If she gets in range there for a Guardian, then maybe we actually get to turn that. That would be tough, though, to ask her to do it. Can we chat on Twitter? What kind of chat? Yeah. We don't want to miss those. Oh my god, I'm staring at this one. Alright. Probably need to take a break from the screen. I'll let her have it. I'm not even going to move towards it. Not the best. We can do better. Let's do this. Jin's missing cooldowns. No, that's too bad. We're good. Stay here with the Graves. We got the 2 for 2, maybe 2 for 1. All right, 2 for 2 is still good for us. It's been so long since I've bought this item that I didn't even know what to buy next. What's up, Lisa? How you doing? Was that Lisa's? Lisa. Have some good ideas dope ideas to grow. Oh my god, I turned that into grope somehow. Thank you. I'm not really fascinated by the idea of growing. We're just here for the people. Small little community. I'm gonna help this guy so he can help us later. Not a fight that I want to take without. Actually didn't know that the Azir was coming in. That's something I need to be better about. Looks like we might get a little bit of trades going in, but man, this is a bloodbath, guys. I know this is what you signed up for. Oh, the thing. That would have been sick if it could have blocked with the clone. No, Angelina, I'm all set. Thank you very much, though. You know what? We could. You know what? This is the guaranteed play. We're gonna go here. Alright, so we're going to go 3 points into silver bolts, and then we're going to start maxing, sorry, 3 points into the tumble, and then we'll start maxing the silver bolts after that. This guy actually doing his AD carry a huge disservice, means that we can freeze this wave a little bit now. Actually should be trying to aim that, so that the Xerath continues pushing, right? If he's hitting me, I want him to also be hitting the wave. Alright, now we have a stacked up wave, so we're going to be on offense here. We'll be able to use this powerful wave state for ourselves. That guy could be playing way more aggressively. No, 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 no. Shield me, shield me, shield me. That's not how I wanted that. I wanted to be up in the front. We're taking way too much damage, folks. That is entirely on me. I need to be better about this. Alright, we'll just do this. Oh man, I'm sweating. This is tough. 48 CS at 10 minutes, 2 and 4. This is tough, and I'm sure that I could have gotten that the first one for myself. I need to get out of the habit of clicking again, right? It's just going to be like this, right? So if I want to get 2 attacks quickly, boom, let go of the keyboard. And that's how you can get that instantaneous next attack. Especially if you can get it next to a wall. This guy's putting a shield on cooldown. I don't like it. Alright, we shove this. No, I just walked into this again. I'm taking all the damage in the world. Whew. I'm having a tough time of it, folks. And I just walked into the shot of that Jhin. I lost track of his frame because the Project Vayne stuff came up, and that's entirely on me. I can be better. No, Angelina, I'm all set. Thank you. Alright, we can play around. You know what we could do is just communicate this to our LeBlanc, that there's a lot of kills to be had here. Like this. Woo! She is the dancing queen. Another thing that I'm not doing that I should be doing more of, I need LeBlanc to help push. She doesn't want it. Can't stay here. You see that? AD carry who plays support knows that it's time to stand close to the support so the Guardian will proc. But that being said, yeah, the things I do for love. Alright, we are so far away from doing anything well this game. It doesn't mean that we're going to be a cull game. Maybe it should have been a cull a long time ago. Saying like, hey, we lose. We just need to take this for what it is. This is my preferred back. My first back, I'd love to have Berserker Greaves plus cull. It just not always in the cards. Maybe that's something I should be trying to prioritize to try to get that early Runons plus second item spike. Trying to warm up the fingers, actually. This is something that I can absolutely do here for myself. I denied this guy the thing. Go down. Maybe I should have gone second wind against this Xerath. Ouch! Oh my god. We are getting significantly outclassed here. So much for buying Cola. I can only get 6 CS off of it. Maybe I can try to find the Nasus later. Just try to get into that lane. We can survive as best we can. I'm getting hit by everything under the sun here. Can I go and just like squeeze this lane, just like freeze it? I don't know. This is really risky. I can just hold this wave here and just go for last hits and hope that that's enough. Feels like we're going to be up against it, but these guys are littering us with skill shots. Also, I probably could have won that fight at level 1, which would have made things a lot easier. I feel like I should be able to dodge those, and I don't think I was particularly slow there. Can't accuse him of scripting either, right? I don't even think I want to finish Runon's Hurricane here. Like, this is one of those lanes where it might just be about the all-in, and maybe this was a lane where, I mean, Runon's would just help me shove and get out of it, and it's also going to allow me to go into mid lane and just push. But yeah, we're not going to be able to solve this problem that we're having. I'm just going to ping right here. Now we might be at enough of a deficit. Yeah, honestly, guys, in this spot, you're losing by this much. It feels like buying Runons might just be a mistake. Even completing the item, I mean, it's going to allow me to farm faster and it's allow me to get other camps, but I won't be able to freeze. If I freeze, though, it does have other unintended consequences where it just lets them play out on the map. I think this is going to be better, but it's so tough to, like, see the light at the end of the tunnel right now. We're gonna go for the fast clear strat. No way. Circles on the ground everywhere. They must have had that warded. Yeah, see, like, at least there's pros and cons, right? Pro to Runon's Hurricane is I can try to farm elsewhere. I'm also not worth anything. Although, you know, they're stopping me from scaling, which is obviously a big deal. But it allows me to be, you know, kind of just sit here and make them decide whether or not they ever want to come and match me. Runon's lets me do things like take Krugs plus push a lane, but I mean, at what cost, right? We're going to have some issues here. I think we need to be Bork because we have a Nasus and a Cho'Gath on their team. Not only that, we want to slow, but also ripping through them with damage. Also synergizes just fine with Runon's Hurricane. This guy's trying to crash in right here. We're going to let him do it. No, I missed. Sundered Sky Iceborne's enough. Okay. Yeah, we're just itty bitty. We don't need to finish this. What a game, guys. Thank you for sitting through this. Yikes. I was getting all excited that gameplay was looking okay at the beginning, and then I'm gonna go back and look at the end of this game, this all-in at level 2, and I think that if I just committed harder to it, then it would have been just fine. I feel badly for this Volibear too, because he's going my favorite build. I deal so little damage. Alright, I could push up here, and even if they come to get me, I'm just dead, and I'm dead anyways in most situations. Everybody fighting here, this is actually the best spot for me. Maybe this was even enough of a good fight where they're inting so hard onto a Renata that I could have joined, but this is guaranteed. I'm not saying it's good. I think everything I've done so far this game is kind of, you know, needs improvement. If we can get this inner turret, though, this would be a huge spike in our gold. That guy does not miss his ult shots. Azir's coming up. That's going to be the biggest threat to me. We've got Xerath potentially coming out of the... I missed. Killed to Nashor's tooth auto attacks. There's a lot I need to work on, guys. There's a lot. I still have faith that you good Vayne players out there can do well on this champ. Our... I guess we could try to hunt for these. We could try to hunt for these. Should have been at the last fight. I did get the turret though. That's a lot of gold for the whole team. We can, you know, we can use that, take that to our advantage. Maybe should have gone for an earlier Vamp Scepter to try to just keep myself topped off against that pokey lane. And I'm thinking more and more that this was the sort of game that Bork would have been fantastic in. And if that's the case, I mean, I don't want to say that Fleet Foot... Hail of Blades can be really good in that, like, short trade window, but normally that's better into the tanks. Where you're trying to get that Silver Bolt's proc off right away. I need 200 more gold. I don't think it's going to happen. It's my time to shine. It's my time to shine. You guys ready for this? I knew you guys were ready for exactly that. That's exactly what you pictured in your head. You're like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for you to die really quickly. That's exactly what happened. That bot lane was some kind of way better than me. Maybe I could have played that super aggressively. Let me go look. We're gonna have to relearn everything to do with Vayne because it's been so long since this champion has been viable. This guy's name is Numbnut. We gotta give it to him. All right, let's see. All right, let's go take a peek. We're a glutton for punishment here. Let's see where we missed this because we definitely messed up on one of the trades on the all-ins. We could have gotten a lot better at the beginning, and if we get that, then maybe we're able to play more aggressively. I should have been limit testing. This should not have been a game where I should have gone in practicing trying to win. Obviously, we're already doing that. Just showing mechanics like this on the leash. It'd be much better for us to try to get the lane prio for ourselves. But let's take a peek. So approaching, they're leashing, we're okay to get this. Graves is going to have a much faster clear. Cho'Gath has very little gank pressure, although with a Jhin Xerath setup, it might be kind of scary once they get to level 2. But as far as first ganks, we should be comfortable here. Now, I think I'm actually just supposed to fight them, like literally right off the bat. That Q gets cast by Jhin, I think I'm supposed to go in and fight. So that was first window. Okay, I dodged a spell once. I'm pretty cognizant of last hits right here, where I should be more cognizant of pushes. Also, we should be in position for the fight. I feel really good at level 2, but we have Jin's 4th shot. This is a mistake to dash in. The idea was that I'm going to try to bait this spell here, so dash forward and then go back. But he was able to hold on to it for long enough. I was expecting the stun to come out right away. That's something that doesn't necessarily need to go in. Where's my... It's not there. Okay. So that could have changed things. Obviously, if we come back to life there, then that's a complete win on the all-in. Maybe we don't get it without the stun, but I think that we can take that, especially with Renata's passive. We can be lacing in auto attacks. The Xerath is the big benefactor here. Getting huge off these kills. Now we do have the minion advantage, so we can try to push for a little bit more. We can try to get into the middle of the lanes. All right, I'm very happy with this so far. Yeah, right there I missed on an attack. We dashed forward. Could have gotten more damage here. Remember kicking myself for that. She's going for the extra damage. Didn't need the turret shot here. But at the same time, like, if that W's not already on me, then I know that I can go for the all-in. She's level 3, and I can just chase the Xerath down. So, as far as like what we can do together as a lane, there's definitely things that I can expect from a duo to do a little bit better with Vayne to move in as one. This is going to be one of the best pairings that you can get. Maybe we could have stayed here to shove this in because this was already pushing. We don't get as much experience from this, and Renata gets nothing. This might have been the end of everything good. Xerath is so huge. And Jin's able to keep this wave. He actually could have held this without pushing it as hard and kept it here longer. So we just lost a whole wave. Yeah. Alright, so from here on out, things are just bad. This was me after I lost confidence. But from here on out... Yeah, maybe we could have stopped showing for a moment. I felt really good about that dodge. This right here, we shouldn't even be attacking this. We should let this wave come out. Graves is due to finish his clear soon. Oh, that reminds me. I know what the rest of this looks like. Why is Graves... What did we end up with here? Why did we end up into... Alright, so blue plus invade is rarely a gank choice. I think he wants to hunt the Cho'Gath, and that kind of makes sense. But it's versus a red buff. So the idea, the concept is right, but you want to do this with red, right? You can't win this fight if you're not red versus red. It basically doesn't matter who the champions are. They got a leash. They got this comfortably. They're gonna have plenty of health, and this extra hunting does not favor the Graves. Graves wants to power farm through this and can get this fight. Same fight you can take, but after you take the red. So now we're dashing out. Now we're down to full camp, and now we don't have any pressure. All right, a lot of stuff for me to work on. I can do even better. I'm pumped though. I feel young inside my bones picking Vayne. I'll go bot top in case we got top. We can still play it. No, screw that. Let's go mid. If we get mid, we'll play it mid. We got a lot of work to do, folks. A lot of work to do. Especially early with this, you can get a lot of extra power here. Oh, the other thing I wanted to look at was one other thing. Interactions with Navori Clickblades. That is a very small sample, but a very convincing number. Because Navori Quickblades will allow you to have more Qs. So I'm suspecting that at 4th item, if you're going for a crit build, 3rd or 4th item, Navori should be fantastic. It means that you can't go Infinity Edge. Wow, both those numbers are astronomically high, but on very low sample sizes. But this is suggesting to me it's not suggesting. It's mostly theory crafting which of these items you want to go. And what are the tags on Navori?
Let us hunt those who have fallen to darkness.
That's a lot of Vayne skins, guys. What are the tags on it? Does it share tags with Terminus? Probably. Doesn't say it here. Really? No one ever looks this up? Unique Transcendence. No. Unbounded. Alright. Unbounded items. Infinity Edge and Nefori. Alright, so you can still go Terminus. I don't know that we would want to. We'd probably want to be stacking the crits, which means that we're looking at Essence Reaver, PD, maybe Storm Razor, but usually Phantom Dancer is just going to be better. So I think we're just going to have to go full limit test mode here. I don't know if we even want Presence of Mind. I think we want Triumph for the big fight. There's a world where maybe we're here. We're playing against Varus Thresh. I didn't ban Way. Let's see. We've got Thresh Hook. We've got Varus Ultimate. We've got the Fear. We're still gonna go Ghost. We're just gonna try to dodge these things. We gotta practice. And I'm not going to try to tech out for it yet, but if you go cut down, you can go for tenacity, tuck, and cut down, and then you can buy Cull, and it actually gives you a significant damage advantage on your opponents, but that is getting kind of deep right now, I think. Amazon Gaming Week? No, 30% off. We just ordered all of our stuff. Shit. I just tried this I had a free one come up and it was like kiwi guava that was absolutely amazing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try all the things that they have. It's basically just green tea packaged in like a energy drink type can, but the guava kiwi one was absolutely amazing. So I'm going to cancel the variety pack, which had bad flavors like cola. We're gonna see. Trying to get off of Monster. I don't know if this is much better. It probably is because it's just green tea, presumably. But all right, let's see. Varus Thresh. I do want to take the fight against these guys. See what we got.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn.
We have a Teemo jungle.
Minions have spawned.
Strawberry guava seems like another flavor I could get around. Have you guys tried it? No, we couldn't do it. Oh no, sorry Twitch chat. That guy's Twitch chat. We're gonna be limit testing a lot, guys. We're going to try to see everything that we can possibly get out of this. Not bad considering it's Ignite Heal. Also should have been checking for things like this. 737, 696. So yeah, you know. Clean auto reset. Alright, so this is one of those situations where they just got the double kill on us, but we're going to have the stacking wave. We're going to hit 3 before them, so we're going to go all in when we get this fight. We're going to be able to take trades while we have this stacking wave, and there's not really much we can do about this wave coming up. I was into Aftershock. Do it again. I do want to get more chips here. I'd love to do it when they don't have cooldowns. I'm very happy with myself to get that damage trade in. We'd like to get this wave to come back to us. It looks like they're happily to fight for the minions, so I'm going to ping like I'm coming back. I want this wave to stack for them and come back. We just talked about this in our class today. Video for that will be uploading later tonight. And this is the ideal situation for ourselves, right? We got some chunk of damage out while we had the minion lead, and now while they have the item lead, we're going to let it come back to us. I could actually go for a recall here, because early lane phase, it's going to be hard for them to push it in, but only if it were a cannon wave. And maybe I could have manipulated that for myself, but I'm not even going to go for that one. No, she didn't want that one. I'm very happy with where we're at. Now we actually have a significant lead, and I have Ghost, and I don't think that they're going to have theirs. I never tumbled. I canceled my own animation twice there. That's too bad. But that's okay, we're getting better. That was close. And it should be enough for Teemo to pick this up here for himself as well. He's going, leading them the other way, trying to keep them away from Varus. This wave is frozen if they can touch it. Unfortunately, Yuumi should have jumped off and grabbed that, but that's, you know, that's a very high level play. I could have actually grabbed this. I could have skipped one of the minions and then just gone and grabbed the wave, pulled it out, so that I could have then kept the freeze for myself. I'm totally fine here. I'm going to ping for them to help here. Same thing as before. This wave's going to be pushing out. Although, yeah. If I'd grabbed it and stuck it out here, I would have been able to hold it for longer. With this wave pushing out, I'm going to let the minion advantage play to me this way. Again, same as before. Talon shows on the top side, Thresh is in middle, so that means that this guy's alone, which means we're going to just go and get in his face completely. Might be a window for a callback right here, but maybe we can make a play on Hui as well. I don't think I needed to flash there. Pull this wave over, check for wards, which they do have one. Hopefully Cat gets the memo to go bot. We can do this together, move up for plates. Do we move and gank this together as 4? Sork Shoes and Fiendish Codex. She's building most likely for Nashor's Tooth here. Gonna keep champions on only. Wunderbar. The push of mid-prio, guys. That bought ourselves a window for the Katarina to roam. If we don't do that, or if she gets angry at the people helping to push, then sometimes you don't get that playoff, right? Always look for, like, what could be? What's the most we can get here? And frankly, they should have just backed. They should have accepted that we have the prio and that we can move over. They greeted for some plates. They end up paying the price for it. Now they don't have any kind of global things, which is why I can just back right here, right in their face. We can just let the plate go. And it's right on the timing with them to not be able to do enough back at us. At least that's the plan. And this time we get much better shops off, guys. Now I'm going to start my pathing this way. Alright, that got warded. Too many minions. I didn't even try to be mechanical there because I was trying to watch for their movements so I could follow the clicks, but I actually could have gotten more movement off in between there. Try to space myself from the minions to not take as much damage in return. Alright, there are no tanks on their team, so we're not going to go Silver Bolts max. We're going to shove this, try to get plates. Varus is going to... No, not get plates. We're going to shove this. Hey, I missed them both. Nothing for us to get here, but we do have the completed Runons, and so we do get to rotate over. Maybe start farming this, but we might just have to go back to our own lane. We're gonna get our one control ward. We're sort of hedging our bets now with our path here. They're not going to be able to get this wave in all the way, so the further that they have to get up, the better. This way we can intercept some movements if we go, and either way the wave's going to stagnate here. I want this fight, so we're going to go for this. No, that's the end of that. Katarina was not keen to the note. We could have pinged it to her though. We didn't. We absolutely didn't let her know. We should have. That's on me. That's entirely on me. Hey. I'm gonna wait till this gets to 14 minutes. Normally not huge for mid lane rotations as AD carry, but Varus is still in bot lane, means we've got plenty of windows here. We could have gone and hit for more, but that turret is so far away that I think we would have had problems getting all that. This was not the best place to path. In fact, it was kind of crazy of me to do that. Yeah. Don't want to feel like I'm battling you, let's see. Not a 1v1 game, folks. I can't even go over here. There's nothing to do. Our vision's on the top side. It would be bad macro to move to the bot side at all. I'd love to get vision up here. So we're going to try to push this up and replace it with a ward. Going to hover to the left because the threat should be on the right based on where their vision is. So we can come up here. We're going to get this ward down. She does the same thing. And we just take this. Teemo should get out of this area.
Enemy killing spree.
Yumi needs to hit this. I'm just going to give this to the Garen with Aatrox dead, and we're going to come back over here. Alright, so what do we need? Essence Reaver. We're going to test out Navori. We want PD to be able to kite away from an Aatrox, and we also need to just attack better. These here are fine. It's fine to have redundant wards. Too slow. Too slow. Testing it though. I don't mind making mistakes here in normal games. Alright, nothing much sticking around. We're just gonna start building for this. This should have been a far side alteration. I'm not gonna turn around because I don't want to miss any of these CS, but I absolutely should have gotten the blue trinket there. That's a Talon, folks. I'm free. Oh, that's so tempting. Triumph proc. I'm so tempted to be on the edge of this. I just want to be able to go in. But I can't catch like a single errant spell. Stunned. I contributed, guys. We got the ace. We had the red buff taken up. We had fleet footwork. We had a little bit of extra value there. Woo! I'm sweating, man. Replace it with a ward. Let's see. They may have vision in here. They may not. I don't think anyone can get here fast enough. I didn't see exactly the timers. I'm okay with how that fight went. Staying alive, obviously. This is really good against Aatrox and Talon. Let's see. We need to stay alive as well against this team. And if we're going pure offense, I think we're going to go third item Navori always if we're going to try this build, and then kind of go from here. Let's not forget the Farsight this time. So you see how much this sees, right? You see that rotation? Knowing where that guy's going is invaluable. This is something you want to do every single game. If you're winning, you want the ward pressed up ahead of mid. If you're losing, you want it right behind the edge of mid. And this will give you the advantage for like just getting first strike. First information is such a big deal. Obviously now as we're scaling up, we can start going and dealing more damage. Let's see the Teemo versus Aatrox. I like the kiting here. We're gonna wait till 20 minutes before we kill this. Actually, let's test. Does this change? If we start it first, I think it changes, right? This is something that they made sure to... It should still give the buff to everybody. Everybody got it, good. We've got our ward here. This tells us that no one's here to contest, and also it tells us that Thresh, because we see Thresh in combination with this ward, it means that we get to absolutely go just take the Baron right now. Love it. Woo!
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
No, I lost vision. I wanted to keep him for a moment. I thought I had my far sight back up, and I didn't. That's on me. Yeah. So I tried to time it, press 1 in here as I'm dashing away, keep vision, and then get the hit off. Maybe just going for a quicker auto reset, maybe we would have been okay. He did surprise me. I didn't realize he had Merc Dreads. Alright, Varus heavy poke. This guy's staying alive in fights, but very low damage. This is the biggest threat potentially right now, although this town's about to shop, and we're gonna find out what that's like. I think I'm gonna save up for the BF sword. The crit chance doesn't really do much for me until I get more items for this. I do want to be mid, but I'm also Vayne. Vayne until 3 items actually doesn't mind, and I don't mind getting into this like solo lane position. Also, level 12 versus 13 is not so bad. We siege with Baron. Waiting for the... Waiting for the rest of the team. We got cooldowns here. We got their cooldowns. This is absolutely a thing that we want. No! I'm glad we took it though. I'm glad that we took this fight. We have to practice that and try to get away from that hit. We didn't need to get the Sundered Sky. If he doesn't attack us, then we don't lose that fight. But the one attack, he gets the big heal proc. It could be that Navori is a little bit too niche and too turbo aggressive. But maybe in comps where they don't have damage, they're like a lot of CC and you just need to dive out. But maybe Bork is just always going to be better. But I think I'm going to like it because the extra Q dashes are certainly going to matter. Two, three, four. Oh, he's not recalling. He must have seen me here. Alright, we don't want to take the red yet because we want people to spawn, so we'll take raptors first and midwave. That looked like a bait. No, yeah, they absolutely have a ward right here. No. Yeah, we had no business being here for that. We need a Garen to body for us as well. Alright, time to test this thing out. How is a Navori Quick Blades? Then we're going to have this control ward that we're going to drop in the fight, not before. Basically, whatever bush we're around, we're just going to slap that into the bush. Hopefully, it means that we can get an extra attack off that maybe they can't answer. We have snuck a Baron. We were able to get something off of that. Not enough. Apparently, well, we need to have Garen with us. Do this. Why are you smiting that? 16 seconds? Okay. No, would not have been my plan there. Garen's got the flank. Doing a test? Okay, all you me. I put myself against the wall. That's obviously not the best way of doing things. But yeah, we'll take it. We're doing all right. We're surviving. Hey. Hmm. What do we think? What do we think? Probably something to just stay alive, right? Like, this just has to be the time where we're going here. Just gonna assume that this is right. 2100. Thanks, Garen. No, how did they see me? I could have been attacking that whole time too. Horizon focus. Whoops. I did not think I got hit by this. I'll have to watch it from their point of view afterwards. What was it, 30 minutes in?
Your turret has been destroyed. Shut down.
This would have been better. We should have done this before. "25 seconds on Dragon." We have enough time to go get the red first. Very important for our team to have this. Katarina on hits, Teemo, everybody on the team is going to want a piece of this, especially us.
An enemy has been slain.
Two people dead. We push, we push. We can get this right now. Push this wave up just so we have the advanced vision from the wave. We backping the Garen, which is something that we haven't done in the past, which we should have been doing. Start positioning ourselves for the fight, and now we start getting ready for the push. Garen wants to recall. I don't know about that. Okay. Lanterns down, we push up, we get the wave again. 1776, I absolutely want to shop for this. Alright, we've got a chance, folks. Let's see, do I need to be the main source of damage for the team? We've got plenty of damage everywhere. They don't have many tools to find me, although Talon is one of them. And Talon is kind of scary. And they also have Hyper Shot for what's her face way over there. Team mode, please don't take Gromp. No, I got hit. Garen's gonna have a field day here, but Yumi Garen coming back to the Hilisang Bwipo days of the LEC on Fnatic. Classic pairing. Also never got my thing off, so obviously could have done a lot better. Got hit by Aatrox twice, which is 2 more times than I want to be. Neat. Mejai is at 24. I love it. What's up, Spacebo? How you doing? We are limit testing Vayne right now. My hands, man, I'm super nervous, but I'm feeling better already 2 games in, where it's definitely Vayne's time to shine. 100%, it's her environment. So we're going to try to get as much out of this as we can. And for the people that are trying to get good, we're trying to test different things. Runon's Hurricane is just clearly very, very, very good on this champion, and it solves all of her wave clear problems. And it also is best not into comps like this, but in a comp like this, it's hitting some amount of ancillary damage. This might be the type of game where a Bork is going to be better, right? The on-hit build. They just farm a little bit slower. It's not a big deal. But they don't really have oppressive wave clear. They've got 2 people with wave clear. We might have an issue if we were behind, but Runon's kind of accelerated the early game for us, lets us farm faster, and lets us do something that most AD carries can generally do without having to think twice about it. Now, something I can do if you're playing a team game with your jungler, you can take the small ones, let the jungler get the big ones so that they get credit from the jungle pet. And you basically always want to set it up for yourself that way. I'm gonna move in as a team. We haven't broken this yet, so we have to be a little bit careful. I'd love to get a ward right here. Sorry, I want to put this one right. You've gone too far, Thresh. That is not your territory, my friend. This is not your dragon. You guys are losing the game, and that is Fog of War. You do not get to play for this dragon, folks. I'm doing good. I am enjoying my Friday. It's unfortunately my daughter's sick. She's got a day home from school. My wife is here. We get to have a good family day, but always got to get a little bit of this. A little bit of this in. Dragon's up in 22 seconds. Gives us enough time. We always push mid here. We have red buff, so we don't need to go for a second one, so there's no priority in going for this top side. She really shouldn't be using her cooldowns here because we want to start trapping. He has much vision right here. I like what they're doing, trying to get a play onto Garen. I am totally willing to burn cooldowns early in the fight here, by the way, because of the nature of the game. Now, 45 seconds is almost an end call. I mean, it is an end call if it weren't Way. If we had Baron buff, or if it weren't Way, then we would have been fine to end the game here. But because they have the best source of wave clear on their team already, then there's no real end. But we should be playing for inhibs. There's no reason why we should be playing for camps. Absolutely not taking blue buff. Like, Teemo is on a different plane right now. Now I'm showing in mid. It's going to allow Thresh. Again, Thresh is being punished, trying to go for wards that don't belong to him. Now they've staggered deaths. Thresh was one of the sources of protection that they could have had. Yeah, I don't know what this guy's doing. He's literally farming his whole camp. Like, what are we doing here, man? I could have done more of that fight. I lost track of it. That's on me. I actually want to let this wave come out so that this super doesn't take the damage early. I should have killed the casters first. That was a mistake on me. Talon looks like he's given up. He's not even trying for a kill on poor little old Vayne. GG. We did it. He's playing different. Yeah, you know, some people, it's a norms game. We're going to let people do what they want. We are limit testing like crazy, so, you know, we're going to do some minty things. They can do some minty things. What do I think about the changes in this patch? I think largely it's going to favor fighters and juggernauts. I think that their itemization is going to be much more specialized, and they're going to be able to go for things that are not just the ubiquitous Sterix Gauge, Thunder Sky, Eclipse. This was basically the Trinity. You just bought these 3 items on literally any champion in the top lane, and you were fine. Right, everything from Volibear to Shen, and you're just like, I don't care if I have AP ratios, I don't care if I have any, like, you literally just built these 3 items, and you became this unkillable fighter demon king. And they obviously benefited the champions most who could use them best, like the Aatroxes of the world, etc. The Because of fighter changes, because fighters are going to be stronger, and because they're moving away from engage supports and into enchanter supports, all the signs are pointing towards Vayne going to have the best environment that she's ever had this summer. We'll see if she gets too big too quick. The Runon's Hurricane changes from, I believe it was 2 years ago. I tried to find exactly where it was, but let me see if I can find this. Patch notes, Vayne, Runon, Hurricane interaction. I don't know. Let's see if we can do this. It wasn't 5 years ago. Can someone explain? Okay. Yeah, it must have been right here. I think it was here, like 3 years ago was the change. Runon's Hurricane, ever since they changed it to where it works with Vayne, it doesn't like work. It's not making all of the silver bolts apply all of the targets, but it used to turn off your main target. So you couldn't even go 1, 2, 3. Runon's literally was an unpickable item on Vayne. Ever since they changed that, that should have been her number one item. What happened is that they reintroduced Static Shiv, and for 2 years, people just preferred Static Shiv over Runon's Hurricane because Static Shiv was in a completely busted state. So naturally, it just felt really, really good. Now that you're back at the spot where Static Shiv is back to being a normal item, Runon's Hurricane should come to the forefront, but people just don't buy it, right? So we're going Emerald Plus games, and only the past 30 days. So the biggest subset that we could get, only 176 people have picked it on Vayne. It's not even in the top 10 items, right? Same thing over here. It is not even in the top 10 items, and it's only been picked 35 times. But look at this astronomical win rate. All right. It's a small sample size. I get it. And once it becomes the norm, people will be able to answer. There might still be matchups like in that last match against Jin Zareth, where I don't think I want Runons. I think I want to just take the all-in against them, play Bork, and play for a one-item spike, and just try to win the fights like that, maybe even PD and dodge their spells. That would have to be a more talented player than me. But generically, Runon's Hurricane is going to be great. It's not applying the Silver Bolts to the side, but that's okay. It's giving you wave clear, and you can still play for that same front to back and still deal some of the damage. On top of the Runon's Hurricane changes, they've also made Vayne's ultimate to deal more damage, just give you more base AD. So a lot of people can go into either Infinity Edge style builds or just extra attack speed and go into crit because you have more AD when you're ulting. And Vayne is the single highest target damage in the entire game, sustained damage over time, once you get past that 3-item threshold. And all these signs, I think, are combining to point towards a Vayne heyday. That's what's going to come up. The other things that are going to change as fighters get stronger, that is going to make mid lane assassins worse, control mages better. It's going to make immobile carries worse and hyper carries better, as long as they can support their way away from the fighters. Also, they've been moving away from tank supports into enchanters. Enchanters can provide that peel for the fighters. So we're getting into this like new style meta, completely opposite from last year's Worlds, where you're going to look at Renata or Janna or Lulu paired with Vayne potentially, and maybe a self-sustaining fighter in the top lane means that you're more likely to see tank junglers again. Sejuani's also incredibly strong. So I think we're going to see more environments that are like control mage plus Sejuani, play for front to back with Vayne. That's what it seems like right now. We'll see what the MSI meta does to it, but obviously we're on a completely different game because of this massive patch that they just dropped on us. What about Vayne's runes with the removal of lethal tempo? I haven't gotten ahead yet, so I don't know what's in 1410. My friend is talking about Blade of the Rune King and the removal of lethal tempo, but Fleet Footwork is a totally fine rune for Vayne anyways. It helps her trading pattern in the lane phase. It helps her stay topped off in situations where she might not be able to otherwise, and the extra move speed helps you to dodge spells and to kite the people that you're supposed to kite. So she's not going to be a first pick over everything the way that Senna or Varys have been, and in pro play like Callista's as well. But she's gonna be fine into a lot of different situations. It might emerge that Draven gets a little bit better if Vayne is going to be prevalent, especially as a counter pick. Like if your team prioritizes something like Rise Sejuani Aatrox, and then enemy teams like, sweet, I'll pick Vayne, and then you can pick your bot lane to answer and get something with lockdown and something that can fight her in the early lane phase. Probably no Kaisas. You're not going to want Ezreal, Varys, maybe even not Ashe, although Ashe would be dominant at level 1 and 2. There's going to be some undulation that happens, but it's clear that the meta is shifting, and we found out last year that that's intentional, that they do it on purpose, that they literally hit target marks, and then they use the time of tournaments to flip the script and give champions that haven't had their time in the limelight some time to shine. That's where you saw all the brand buffs, Vel'Koz buffs, just Zyra buffs. Champs that don't get picked, they get buffed. And then once the tournaments start coming back, they'll flip it again. And at Worlds, apparently, we're just always going to have a 40% Kai'Sa meta with 70% engage supports, which means Kai'Sa's going to be the best champion in those situations anyways. And, that's the way of the world. But as far as runes, what I did this game, this is where I went. Sudden impact for the most early game damage. You can see that 930 extra damage. Not a ton. It's something, though. There are some lanes where maybe Taste of Blood might be better. There's lanes where you're going to want the hyperscaling of the green tree with conditioning and overgrowth. I think that these are probably going to stay the same, although cut down might be better in a lot of different situations, especially in the games where you want Vayne. You probably have a lot of targets where you want cut down. This was not that game, right? They just had no one on their team that builds HP, right? You have kind of Thresh, but Thresh has abysmal stat gains. Aatrox being the only guy, and most Aatroxes have been leaning this way, and only at the end of the game getting any amount of like Black Cleavers. Even though Black Cleaver is a great item, we just always see this pattern. But like we know with the patch notes, these items are much worse now. I've been trying to learn Kai'Sa. What's the difference between AP and AD Kai'Sa, and when do you know which build to pick? That is a great question. A lot of times it comes down to which items are being patched into prevalence. And unfortunately, that kind of sucks in general for when you're trying to aim for what to build. But mostly it's going to come down to, am I all in fighting or am I poking? And even when you're choosing the all in path and saying, hey, I really want to take more fights, I want to have a serrated Dirk early, I want to play for earlier spikes with something like Ginsu's Rageblade. When you actually do the math of like what Kai'Sa's play style is like, you end up in the mid game with a lot of W poke. It's going to happen no matter how you cut it, especially as you get higher and higher in ranks, where you're going to have more people that are willing to be patient in fights, and they're not just going to devolve into the random skirmishes. The more random skirmishing you have, the better your Q is. Therefore, the better you're going to be in those isolated 1v1s. But that said, they have moved so much of her power into the execute of the 5 attack proc, which is an AP ratio. They have the huge AP ratio on the shield, and the W is dealing magic damage. So with a high AP ratio as well. So it's hard to imagine a time where it's definitely better to go AD. It's very easy to imagine the times where you're better off going with the AP build, right? And it's not like your damage hurts that much, right? Once you start getting into whatever combination of Rageblade, Nashor's Tooth, and Static Shiv, but you're going to put the majority of your damage into the Horizon Focus and what is it? Luden's Companion, probably the one that they're building most often. You could also use a site like Lolalytics, and you can look at synergy deltas, right? You can look at what sort of champions am I doing best against, and then you can actually mitigate or hone into what is best in those spots. So if I'm Kai'Sa and I'm playing against, what's the best example I want to give? Something that shows up a lot. There's a lot of Thresh these days. Let's say Nautilus, okay? You're playing against Nautilus. You can put this in, and it's going to be Kai'Sa versus Nautilus, and it'll tell you which one is performing better. But an interesting thing here, like even when you start with the AD, like it's suggesting that then you still go into Rabadons anyways, which you always have to use this data and then ask yourself why. Ask yourself what is actually going on here. What is the best combination of items, and why is it showing up that one's better than the other, right? You can go with a Terminus and be more brawly, right? And go in fight to fight. You can go more for your spell damage with Navori Quickblades. Or you can go with spell damage with AP, and they all have benefits. Usually it's going to go into your comfort, what you're most comfortable playing with. But right now, these days, I think it's going to be AP that's just best. They don't want her to be exceptionally strong right now because they have to save that up for Worlds. She's the most exciting... yeah, she's one of the most exciting champions in the game, I think, because flying in and getting those moments where Kai'Sa jumps into a backline and casts her Q is just super, super exciting for the game. And so they want to have that at the World Championships when the game's at its most hype. That means that that's usually going to be the weaker of the builds going into the rest of the season. But you know, you can never go wrong. She's got she's one of the champions with a consummate AD carry kit. Zeri and Zaya being the other ones that are just self peel, plenty of damage, crit scaling. You can scale in a couple different ways, but most being the self peel and the mobility that are just going to make her easy to play. Tiers for Kai'Sa. The reason that they go tier, I mean, so in the AP build, let me see. I don't know that they pick tier very often in that one, right? I shouldn't see any Archangel staffs here. Most often what you're doing tier for is to have one item that gets you 80 AD. And then with the 80 AD plus the 35 that you get from Ginzu's Rageblade, you're going to get that 100 AD threshold right off the bat. The other way that people tend to do this is to go with an early Serrated Dirk and then go Serrated Dirk and then build into the rest of this, like Terminus Rageblade. The problem with that is, I want to say that since they changed Serrated Dirk, it doesn't hit the threshold anymore, but I need to refresh myself on that because Caulfield's Warhammer and Serrated Dirk, they reduce the AD on, right? Those were the two items that they hit in the patch. Early Caulfield's, it's not 2 attack damage. Let me see if I can confirm this. Serrated Dirk down to just 20 damage, right? Used to be 25. I believe Caulfield's is exactly the same. It used to be 25 and now it's 20. And that difference of not being able to hit early makes you have to shop for one extra item that may not go into the rest of the scripted build, and that can always be difficult. But I love playing Kai'Sa. I'm down for playing some Kai'Sa right now. Let me talk to my wife real quick about whether or not she needs me to get the kids. So let me be right back. I will check back in with you guys in just a moment. This song is so hype. Tell me you don't get amped up by this. They do such a good job with their music. But yeah, to me, Kai'Sa carry. I don't want to say carries League of Legends, but I think Kai'Sa is the most exciting champion in the game. I think that a large part of KDA being as popular as it was is because of Kai'Sa. I think that they recognized very quickly that she was super popular, and she was the first one that got the skin overhaul with the KDA skins. I think they want her to continue to be great. She's a fun champion to play. There's counterplay there. Yeah, I think she's just one of the best design champions that they've ever put out. So super exciting champion in general. I love it. I have one of my friends absolutely despises Kai'Sa. We're on completely opposite sides of the spectrum on that. I think he thinks of Kai'Sa the way I think of Wei. This game our champion pool will be Vayne Kai'Sa. If we get a chance to play one or the other, we'll go for it. And if it's just right for Kai'Sa, maybe we'll do that. Wei is the worst. Wei, the skill cap on that champion is so incredibly high that despite him being completely overpowered in pro already, they continuously have to buff him. And one of the things that comes up is readability. Readability is something that they've been aiming for, and I think it is the number one goal that they should have with champion design, that everything should be readable. And all of the changes that they've aimed at K'Sante have been aimed in that light. They like the idea of animation cancels and being able to get some mechanics in, but when a K'Sante in the hands of someone who has put 10 hours of practice in animation cancels and knows exactly which things can cancel what, can you cancel this with that, can you use Tiamat, can you get an extra Iceborne proc, which times can you get an extra auto attack off, but your auto attack and your Q are the same thing, but then you can also dash. That stuff is not good for the game, right? It's just I know what they want. They want a fighter game style champion that has a lot of the attributes that people like from fighting games. Hitboxes, animation cancels, combos. They want that. The people who play, there's a large portion of the player base that likes fighter games that look like K'Sante. So they make the K'Sante champion that looks like them have those attributes, right? All of those things go in together. They want it to be strong. They want to pull people out of the fighting game style and into League of Legends, but it comes at the cost of readability. And Wei is very similar. Riven is very similar, where it takes so much to figure out what's actually going on with the champion. And on top of that, when you're playing Wei, since every spell takes 2 button presses, and since some of the combos take 4 to 6, you could be in the middle of a button combo, but if you get stunned, the game is still not good at reading whether or not you actually wanted QE into WE, right? So let's say you go QE WE, but if you press Q and then you get stunned, it forgets that you pressed the E, and then the next button that you press is the W. It overrides the E and then says, oh, okay, you'd like to press QW, and then you press E. So now you've cast the wrong spell, and now you have your E precast where you're selecting from that, and it just creates bedlam, like a complete hell for the player, for the people playing against it, and in my opinion, that is unacceptable champion design. That's just, maybe that's just me, but that's how I feel about it. I know why they want to do it. Similar thing to K'Sante, you want to get people who want to have the mechanically impossible champion to play, and they want to master it. But like Azir already fits that spot. You don't need another one, in my opinion. All right, totally fine game for the Kai'Sa. We're just gonna go with Kai'Sa build number 1 here. Whatever's coming up the most. Lethal tempo? No. JK. I like Conquer a lot. This is fascinating that Triumph is doing so well. We'll see if this is the page that auto-populates. This is something that they claim that they're doing, where if you just go here and you pick, it'll just match up with whatever is going on here, which it almost does. What do I actually want to build? This will be a question. I guess it depends on games. We're heavily AP indexed, but I don't care. We're still going to go AP. So AP, we want Presence of Mind. I want this. I don't care about the Bloodline as much. Cut down absolutely makes sense. Now, let's see. How much stun do they have? Fear Cage. Not enough to really care. I'm going to go here. I'm going to keep it like this. This is not... Hail of Blades is probably better in this spot, especially since we're going to get the on-hit procs from the AP ratio, and we're going to want more. So this is not ideal. But hopefully we can get some amount of... Yeah, oh god, this is gross. I don't want Ghost with this combination either. We'll make it work. We're gonna get a Kai'Sa game in here. It's my favorite champion. All I need is for someone to say Kai'Sa in chat, and we're gonna play some Kai'Sa. Dude, and my support is named Giga Dude, and we're at Giga Gaming Academy. This is serendipitous. And yeah, the range is going to be different, and then if, like I said, if he gets interrupted in the middle of a spell casting sequence, it's such a pain in the butt. So we're going to do a little trick with cut down here. You can also just go longsword, and again, yeah, we're going to go cut down. We're basically going to be very, very weak while we stack up Man Immune. And the reason for the Man Immune build, and like I said, that there's different iterations of the builds that are going to have those break points at 100. And one of the reasons Kai'Sa suffers early in the season compared to later is because they're constantly changing the items. And so all the people who want to have a build that they stick to for a champion, they just can't do it with Kai'Sa because she very specifically and importantly needs to get to different thresholds every single time that she plays, right? So even if we go like Nashor's Tooth, it's down to 90 AP. It used to be 100 AP. So if we're adding, do we want to add Rageblade to that? So Rageblade will now get us to that threshold. Rageblade plus Man Immune is actually a kind of neat interaction where you can get the on hits, and then you can build into Nashor's Tooth, and then you're kind of like AP and on hit. You can kind of play between both. I like that build, but it's very, very slow to get online. And most times that's unacceptable at the highest level. If you're going to play Man Immune in its current state and like where everything is right now, I do believe that means it's Serrated Dirk. I actually can't go for the execute here because he used his empowered Q. Normally Kai'Sa has one of the best leashes in the game. Not that we like leashes a lot. But the different item thresholds, and especially with Serrated Dirk being as low as it is, like going for Man Immune and waiting till 22 minutes into the game to get your full evolve, like you don't want that. So you're kind of thinking like, yeah, maybe I want to get a little extra Serrated Dirk damage. Gonna go for the minions here. Gonna surprise them. Oh, Thresh stepped back. That's too bad. That was a bad W cast. I don't know why I would do that. Raze is invading the Udyr. I really wish that Thresh had gone in right at that moment. It's unfortunate. Now they hit two. They're not actually stronger. This is bad. I'm just dead. Yeah, everything about this is awful. We'll come back though. We'll find a way. And then there's other iterations like Nashor's Tooth plus Dark Seal, or Nashor's Tooth into Zhonya's, and you play from there. Money. Double buffs, baby. The comeback is real. There's actually a world where we can actually just shop right there, but we're so much stronger now. I don't want to waste my double buffs. Go, 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 go. We'd love for them to be stuck in this situation for as long as possible. Their jungler is almost definitely going to go here. We're going to press up because they're trying to go and aggress here, which is absolutely the wrong play for them. Come on, Thresh. I know you've got something here. Help me out, baby. Come on, Thresh. No, he's chunked. All right, this is coming back to us. Thresh has to recall. It's a cannon wave, and they're low on resources, so we're actually fine to just, like, take this, wash. Not enough. I don't like the way this guy's playing this lane, but you know, I can play around it. I can figure it out. Do we believe in the comeback? Now, one of the things that's true about Kai'Sa, which is not true about someone like Ezreal, Ezreal can get the tier and stack it up very easily. Kai'Sa cannot, so you generally don't want to rush to get that early tier. It's much more important to get the early stats. But that said, we're going to be up against it for a bit right now. No, you numbnut. Hit this one now, please. All right. I am, we're a little bit support gapped, but that's okay. I can play a lot better. That's what I'm going to focus on. And since they're a little bit less comfortable on Thresh, I'm going to dampen my expectations, but also I could be looking for the way, like, through their eyes, what are they looking at, and see if I can't do better here. This is our fight. Go for the Warwick now. We swap over. That is too bad that we didn't get an assist there. I did waste my Q a bit. I also could have used spacebar for better toggle aiming here. Vhagar with blue buff and red buff was kind of scary. We do have minion advantage here, so we're going to be okay for a moment. It's a hit. I'm actually really happy with myself with that movement. That is above average for me. Hey, that is below average though. This guy's not 6, right? He might be hitting 6 shortly. I need to get back. Warwick's empowered right now. Let's see. Which one do you want? You want the Stork Shoes? You want to go for that play pattern? We can do it. No. What do we want? I'm gonna go with the full hedge build right here, using the attack speed from this, from the boots to play elsewhere. It looks like they're gonna get this wave to themselves. I'm gonna go cover mid. No, even worse. Are you serious? I'm so glad your spells are on cooldown, Zed. going to help them to shove so we can open up the map. I'm just going to go for this. This maximizes the amount of resources on the map. This guy's obviously not thinking about what to do this, and it makes sense. He's a one trick in a Norms game, so he doesn't know about these things, and that's okay. We're just going to move on. But in an ideal situation, you absolutely you're okay sharing the XP. You're generating more experience in the game anytime you share. Anytime that you have experience on the map. This cannon, no cannons yet. Nope, next wave. This cannon, or all cannons, are worth 100 XP. When you get them solo, you get 93% of that experience. When you share it, you get 70% each. So anytime you share experience, you get 140% of the value of... No. I'm sorry, my friend. I probably could have done that. That one attack on this ward was enough to mitigate, or to make me not kill that guy in time. I should have could have turned on my champion only toggle. This guy wants to fight here. Also, I could have just pre-selected the guy as I'm taking my ult so that I don't miss it. But flying camera, missed it. Alright. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it.
An ally has been slain.
Oh boy. Did not want that. Again, this is unrehearsed as far as like the Kaisa builds, and everything has gone through changes, so I'm experimenting here and I'm gonna make some mistakes. Hopefully so you guys don't have to. That's the plan. That was going to be an ambitious take no matter how I cut it, because my Q is going to be spreading out, plus we don't have any of the damage spikes here. Okay, looking to recall. Turret's down in top lane. We could have a Zed. We have... Sorry, turret down in bot lane. It's clicked. Zed's finally going to move over. We'll see. Not even a finally thing. This is kind of dangerous based on what we have information. This is all based on inferred information right now, which... Oh, that's no good. Yep, no good. Inferred information that I got wrong, right? We're thinking about the threat here. Wasn't thinking about Smolder coming over. Thought we'd have time to get away from Graves this way, and then once Smolder showed on this side, it was just bad. Not enough information. That was just bad. Sometimes we make mistakes just because it's live. Harder to keep track of everything. At least for me. Especially when I'm talking, but I can do better. So everything in the game is better when split. Once you're splitting, the pool is 140%, and that doesn't change. He made it so no one got it. That's wonderful. I'm getting a little bit triggered by this guy. I need to just take a deep breath and realize it's not his fault. If you're a Thresh right here, you want to back off and not share this plate though. This is their dragon. We don't get to go here. Can you communicate that to my team? Am I just trapped here? I actually wanted to see that interaction. It's not a blink, it is a dash. I wanted to make sure that that was the case. 1 minute? I don't want to FF. We still got work to do, folks. So you can see with this, as it's stacking up, it's going to continue to give us the bonus attack damage as we climb up, and just with the levels and the points going up in Manamune, this combination I think will be enough to get us to 100 AD with nothing else. And so then combining with Nashor's Tooth and Dark Seal, we're gonna have enough AP for the 100 threshold and also the attack speed for the E threshold. Sorry. Looks like the team's checked out already, so it may just be a go nexter. This is a mistake. Should have pathed around this way. We can do this. We can do this. The major issue with this build is that it comes online so slowly, right? Compared to a rushing 100 AD rush. The 100 AD rush means that you're going to get a spike and you're going to have serrated Dirk for that for what it's worth. And the 100 spike means that your Q evolution comes up right away. It means that it deals the most amount of damage. And this one, in reality, I think I'm putting the points into W too soon. I probably want like 4 in Q, because this is the first evolution that we want to go for in general. Oops. I'm so worried about him trying to fight this guy for the CS that I'm not even playing well. We're all humans. It's always situational. Q is best for the early game, W is best for the late game, E is better against assassins and champions who are trying to get on top of you, like juggernauts. W is going to be the one that you use in all sieging situations. And it's the one that's going to let you play the safest through the course of the game. And that obviously has its own benefits. Alright, Zed can be a weapon against most of these champions. Everyone but, I mean, Warwick and Urgot are not threatened at all by him. And frankly, this Dark Seal, remember when I bought Dark Seal, I was like, I got a little bit of a... That didn't just happen. The Dark Seal could have been a longsword and we could have been evolved by now. Ugh. Whee! Q's going to be best for laning phase, for your all-ins, for your skirmishes. W is going to be best for the siege. I think we got that. And then E for being able to kite around for champions that are trying to stick to you, like these guys. And as we go, sometimes you want to do the rule of everything. Whatever your team is missing is the thing that you want to go for. So you can play it that way, right? Let me see. This, I need to do a little theory craft. This is not ideal, obviously, to do this in-game while the game is happening. I'm going to do the super greedy way right now, which is, since we're losing, just scale up the queue. But my team, this is mostly just for my information. I could just do this in a practice tool as well. I should normally be about level 11 by now, and that would affect my scaling, and also I could be higher on my man immune. But I want to make sure that we are still getting the scaling here. This is still going up. If I wanted the fastest power spike, I would go longsword, and even longsword into sell longsword is a completely viable plan. This guy's huge. No, just not enough. Competitively speaking, if I wanted to get the best out of this game, buying a longsword, getting the immediate evolution is going to be best, and then you just sell it later. Uh-oh. There's a lot I can do. I can do better. We'll run it back. We'll run it back. As you scale up in levels, and as I mentioned before, you're going to gain like 4 AD per level. So at level 11 with this build, you should be hitting the Q evolution. And then if you're ahead in the game and you're getting this earlier and stacking it up earlier, then you should be able to single item spike for it. Right now we're doing it with the 7 damage from the cult. You could be doing it from 8 damage with Doran's Blade. It also means that we are... It also means that we're worse in the all-ins. So I think a little bit too much brew in this game. But here we go. We're going to come online with the Q. Nashor's Tooth is coming after this wave as well. So we're going to have all 3 evolutions, I believe. But I will double check that. At least we got those. This is flash, alt. So Q is evolved. Nashor's Tooth is going to give me all the evolutions here. Yeah, so we got everything. So this is the build that gets you all of the evolutions fastest. And I'm like, okay. Obviously, I don't want to be 3 and 7. Obviously, I'd love to have 180 or 230 CS at this point. And that might be due to going for cull early. It does mean that we finished the item. But again, if I had just gotten an extra 20 CS as opposed to cut down, then I would have been okay. There is a way with certain keybind settings to cancel your animation for evolving these things, but for whatever reason, it does not work on my set. We can do better. Why is this Urgot always on your blue side? I mean, he's got Hullbreaker. He's just pushing up for advantage, trying to flank. He could have been in a couple more team fights, but I also, you know, it's on me for pushing that far without vision of him. I was worried about the egos of the Zed and the Gragas, people talking about getting in or out of game. All right, we can do better than that. Let me see real quick movie times. I think I'm gonna take my son to go see Phantom Menace in theaters. Star Wars at 5:30. Okay. Hopefully, were those the ones that they put in 3D? I don't think so, right? That was they did the remasters. Gosh, I'm old. I saw the remasters in theaters, not the originals, obviously. Not that obviously. I'm a grandpa. Like, let's be real. We can do this a lot better. All right, what are the things that we want to clean up here? Cull into cut down was too much brewing. We don't need that. We can go Doran's Blade. We can be much stronger. We can go straight for Manamune, knowing that at level 11 it's going to spike us at Q, or we can buy it and then just immediately get Serrated Dirk, sit on Serrated Dirk, and get to the 100 that way. We're still safe. Then Nashor's Tooth will turn on both of the other ones with Berserkers. All right, I think we've got an idea. But it takes a lot, right? Every time that the game changes, it changes Kaisa completely. It's always such a world. 1410 preview reaction. I don't do the previews. The previews, like, let's see what they're actually coming out with. But the Bork, I mean, the fact that they're coming out with massive changes, right? Everything's going to be geared towards the fighter environment, is what it feels like. Nice emotes, by the way. I'm excited to see your Aurelia post Blade of the Rune King, Ocean Star. You know what? Let's do it this way. I find it a lot more fun in the mid lane, but we could have done more. I wasn't on the same page as the Thresh for sure. There's definitely things that I could have reacted to quicker, and that's the battle that variety player trying to know 100 champions at once. I'm never going to be able to do that. Never again, I should say. The game has gotten too complicated. There's too many things to keep track of. I think this is 76, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, yeah. Yeah, so we have, or maybe it's 71. I believe we have 103 champions. No, we have more than this. I believe we have over 100 champions on rank 5. I think it's like 90 at rank 6 or higher, and I think that this is like 66 or 71. But it's getting to be too much. 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. All right, 61 champions on rank 7. We want to try to get to 1,000 champion mastery, but it's going to take a bit. I think her ankle's going to be broken, but it will be funny to see what happens. Yeah, hold on a sec, guys. I gotta feed my wife. Maybe I'll stream a Bork nerf reaction video. You should. You should. You're an Aurelia one trick. Where are you? Did you get your ranking like top 1,000, top 100 Aurelias in the server or something? You've got some clout. You peaked at top 60. Okay. All right, we have a Victor. Victor, we're gonna get into a pushing war. He's gonna have the advantage early. We're gonna make that adjustment and get the early serrated Dirk to try to get better pushing with the Q, and then we will just kind of sit on it for ever, I think, for the end game. That should give us the early evolve. We should be okay with that. Victor's gonna try to get in our face. We should be able to get away with this as well. Belveth shouldn't be that capable to get in on us. And with the extra range and the fact that we're not going cut down means that we're okay. Well, cut down can take use of that during lane phase and then later in the game having the flat health, depending on where you want it. You're a for fun norms player? That's fair. I feel like you wind yourself up a lot. You should keep talking to Israel. I feel like you came out of that like super happy with things in a time when things were tough. But dude, I hear you. Dude, when I got electrocuted, I spent like a month in Norm's game. I mean, I'm still kind of in that, right? We're just back in this limit testing, took a break from everything for a while. It actually just kind of hurt to like sit and tense, which you do in league games. You don't realize how much like you tense yourself to move around. But because I was getting pains like under my ribs, it wasn't that much fun to try to put myself through the stress of trying to win games. So we're just like sitting back, having some more time limit testing, having fun with the game. Because ultimately, you know, it's a game. We can have some fun with it. Got you. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But it's even if it's not for growing within League of Legends, it might just... I feel like you might enjoy the game more with things like that. But anyways, it is what it is. I like watching you play Aurelia. I like watching you grow on that champion, and I, you know, secretly hope that one day we get to duo Q and Diamond. But I know that that's not really where your aim's at right now. Alright, I'm going to let him do the Chovy to me, which is going to be to fast push, and he's going to crash this wave. I'd like to do it with these things still at full health so I can get the last hits. Ideally for me, we're going to sit here because my level 1 is much weaker than his. We're going to let it sit under this turret, let it bounce back, and we're going to try to aim for level 3 before we try to like trade back at all. And even then, like the fact that he has the shield means that things are going to be much easier for him to execute. So these are perfect. This front one is perfect. I'm gonna wait till it attacks again so I can start charging up my attacks. And now we're a little bit happier. We haven't used that much. Bought some time. Can go for like some trades with Q, but my Q range is the same as his, so it's very difficult for me to get in any amount of trading. This guy's not doing like much pressure-wise here. I'm gonna go for... Got you. Conqueror, baby. You see that? I know you like that. I know you like that. Now, how do I make sure that I don't just die? Let's see. We don't have enough mana for this. Mid lane, I think we want to be here. We don't need that. Awkward and slow shop, and also we didn't let this manifest. We probably could have stuck around, and in fact we definitely should have. Could have hovered the left side. With Lee Sin here, we could have gotten a ward on Raptors to have an idea of when Bel'Veth is going to be there. If I had it over again, we would do that, and then we'd be fine to stick around in the lane. I'd also then be comfortable to use my potion. Another shot. Now he's going to recall. The benefit is that now in this situation, I still get to get the push off. And I punish him a little bit harder because his teleport's gone, right? And I have half of an item, but at the same time, I could have done this with the other element as well and been fine. This is normally a complete foul. You don't ever get to take these plates. But I have a chance to deal significant chip damage. I'm going to take it. I also don't think Bel'Veth had any window, and there's Bel'Veth showing in the bot side. Can we turn this? They're actually pretty weak. They're very weak. They just got hit. Oh, Lux just missed on a rooted target. Boom! Just because I can. Just because we can. All right, we're going to ward this side, middle of the river. Don't put it ever in the bushes here because the bushes do not see all of the travel points. This is kind of scary for me. Let's do this and just back off. Do I actually have Fleet Footwork? I thought I had Conqueror. Right, I swapped it to Fleet Footwork. I don't know what I'm trying to accomplish here. I don't know what that was. A little bit of a chip, a little bit of a bait. We're going to make Lee Sin get himself a favorable spot here, maybe. I'm going to try to hover the left side to try to push Victor to the right side, make it a little bit easier. I could have waited a moment to make sure that that Q dealt full damage to the Victor, and that would have made things a little bit easier. But this camp is very nice. Playing through mid lane, folks, makes the game very easy. Not just because you're getting the mid laner ahead. Mid laner lead turns into everywhere lead, for one, but also just going in and making it so it's very easy for me to push my lane means that then I can go and help the Lee Sin. Like, we can go do things together now. Go figure. Team game. Oh, wait, I chipped this. I need to touch it. Bam! Worth. I'm going to hover right side because Bel'Veth last seen on left side, and I've also got the support of Lee Sin on my right. So I always want to hedge my bets. Also, that's where I had the last ward I saw. So I'm much happier to play on this half of the map. Lee Sin is starting Dragon, which means that I'm going to start pushing a little bit harder. As long as Victor stays here and I just match spell for spell with him, then we're going to be okay. I'm helping. This guy's baiting. There's a Bel'Veth nearby. Coming this way? No, that would be great. But it does mean that I get this. So the other thing that pushing through mid does, right, it unlocks ganks on both sides, it unlocks the river on both sides, it unlocks all of the juicy fruit on both sides, and you don't actually lose anything as a jungler. A lot of people think that there's like this big opportunity cost to pushing through mid, but it's just the natural path that you want to get from scuttle to scuttle and to go into like potential invade paths and things like this. So this Lee Sin is making the game very easy for everybody. I should probably aim to not miss any more CS. We've already missed enough today. Wonderful. This guy's not even trying to harass me, like he... Exert my dominance right here. Let's make this path available for the Lee Sin. Get this ward out here, just get a little bit more extra vision, make it look like that's the only thing I'm doing. I'm gonna go right here and bait for Lee Sin. I feel so slow. I could get boots. I could get boots and longsword, which would be a fantastic upgrade right here. But I also think that I'm just about to get this spike. Yeah, 2 more levels will do it. But like I said, I want to get that early serrated dirk to make sure we're up there. We're ahead of the curve now. I wonder if this will let me. You know what? I have to test this. Is this going to let me do it? I have to shove. Alright, there's no one helping here, so I actually could have punished him right after that spell went down. It does not let me evolve. Okay, fair enough. By the way, I could have played that fight a lot better. That was a lot of things that I'm trying to look at, and my phone started buzzing.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Not right. We have to leave. We have to exit stage left, guys. Exit stage left. It was a good idea, but execution we need to get out. I also haven't shopped. This guy's got his completed item. He's much bigger than I am. We can go for this instead. Alright, so we go here and here. That should be enough for this upgrade. It is, obviously. No turret here. I should have hit that for speed. You can see the power of the Q evolve right there. Just one shot those things. I'd like to have a little bit more mid prio before we do this, but we should be okay with these guys being pushed into bot. We have bot prio, and then Jhin and Victor is fairly even. Oh, he wants to make the play here. That's fine. Yeah, we could do this. We want to give this guy his time to shine. Oh, they know. Give that guy a way out. It's a hit. Alright. That guy just got lit up, dude. What hit me? What? Did I just walk into a shot and I didn't even see it? Oh, I feel bad now. That should have been just clean. I was feeling so happy for myself there. Shit. So let's see. Apparently we just have the Q evolve already. We don't need this rated Dirk. And that has to be in part in function from being mid lane compared to bot, where we'd be level 9 maybe, level 10, right? Makes sense. This lane's already pushing. We're just going to go move towards this. We're going to help our Jhin just be presence together. This goes against some of the solo queue principles that you'll hear from something like skill capped, where it's like, go find your own lane of farm. But like this right here, showing in the side lane here would completely int everyone who's trying to do Herald. And we're just strong at Herald. Why not just be strong at Herald? Oh, Lee Sin doesn't want to pick that up. That actively makes him worse, which is, you know, sometimes can be a big deal. Won't take resources away. He wants to probably drop this right away. JK. I just missed my turn. There is a ramping speed change. Tried to flash away. You can flash away from To the Skies. I missed my window for it. I'm always a little bit late on that. I don't think it's a ping issue either, too, because 30 ping, we could easily be handling that. But it's enough to... I mean, we're crushing it, obviously. Alright, let me see. Do I still have enough if I go under here? I do, right? So level 11, Doran's item plus Man Immune. This is going to be a threshold for getting enough of the stacks, but buying the longsword gets you that evolve earlier, which gives you a bigger spike earlier.
Shut down. Your turret has been destroyed. Killing spree.
Whoops. Just wanted to put some excitement in there, see if we could get a little bit of outplays. Not today. Not today.
Killing spree.
So would I actually want this in the final build, especially at a moment like this where I could sell and get the next item? I think I would, right? There's no threat of losing the evolution. We don't need it for our final build. It got us what we needed, so we basically rented it, right? So you see the sell right here. You spent 105 gold, which is a whole wave, and that's not nothing. But if it gets you that Q evolve faster and it gives you a spike and you get something done in levels 9, 10, 11 that you otherwise couldn't, then worth, right? Now here you're supposed to be able to press recall to cancel the animation of the thing. I don't know what setting it is. I can't find any answers on it. If you guys know, please let me know, because it's something that frustrates me to no end, because it is my favorite champion and it's something that can be done on the champ that I can't do. So I don't know.
Shut down.
It's so tempting to take that. If we were the serrated Dirk Navori Quick Blades build, then I would. Alright, so let's say boom. I'm supposed to be able to recall and cancel that. Nope, just doesn't. That's right, this is the new Lee Sin, right? Did they give a ponytail to all of his skins now? They're just like, this was immensely popular, let's keep on doing it. They're going to be right here, this is going to be a hit. Oh, I should have waited for the Jhin to hit. Could have done that better. Also could have landed exhaust, I think. That is not our skill set for sure. Driving that motion a little bit tough. Do we really want to Drake? Okay, we can Drake. Three people are dead. The most fun thing we could do is try to end with a 5v2 and try to practice this. But I think that we're going to end up with Soul. Soul plus, like, bringing the Baron minions is okay, too. I don't know. I think the best one is just 5 mid is just always going to be best. I shouldn't have thrown that. They tried. And he's got Ocean. Oh, they were FFing. Fair enough. Oh, that was a lot more fun. GG, thanks for the inspiration, man. I love playing Kai'Sa, and I love playing Kai'Sa in mid lane. And as we all know, marksmen prefer this lane, and if it weren't for champions like Syndra existing, then marksmen, like, this is where they would be. And, you know, Riot tries to change the game and put, like, the bulwarks onto mid and bot to try to make it so that bot lane has to have turret pushing pressure, but it's, yeah, it is what it is. It's still fun. All right, that's going to be it for me. Going to get ready for the movies. Going to go take my kid to go see Phantom Menace. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. I see you guys on YouTube. We did see a hi from Facebook and plenty of people on Twitch. So appreciate you guys. See you on all the platforms. It makes me feel good, man. Can't wait to see MSI. The rest of the games from the play-in stage are going to be wrapping up over the weekend. Who do you guys think's going to make it? We got T1, Top Esports, Fnatic, or FlyQuest. Who are your favorites to get in? I haven't seen the second round games yet, so you may already know the answer. Don't spoil it for me. I have to go check them out. Anyways, I'll catch you guys next time. Have a good weekend. May the 4th be with you. Peace.